Future energy supply is a key question for all the European citizens. A question that has to be decided within the European member states in order to make Europe's energy supply sustainable. Considering such a challenge, the EU, its member states, and the EU regions have defined ambitious energy strategies, setting firm targets for an increased share of renewable energy sources, higher energy efficiency, and less carbon emissions. But talking about energy always leads to the same issue: economy. In fact, that is one of the main obstacles for widespread introduction of sustainable energy measures. Actors, either public and private, willing to develop energy projects often have difficulties to attract financial means to support them. The private financial sector, such as banks or investors, are often hesitant to invest in sustainable energy. Public funding is an alternative or complementary source for these investments, but the volume of national financial support schemes in most EU countries is limited. Limitations of the funding market are holding back realization of the targets and sustainable energy strategies and require new actions to generate the proper financial flows and investments. Regions for Green Growth is an initiative of EU regions to equip the partners with regional policy instruments, mechanisms, and approaches to improve access to finance and speed up investments in sustainable energy projects. This initiative will give regions the tools to assist these actors in contributing to their regional sustainable energy targets.
Regions for Green Growth is an international cooperation project in the framework of R4GG, and we have 15 partners from 13 regions. Our aim is to boost investments in sustainable energy.
With a total budget of over €2 million and an ERDF funding of more than €1.5 million, a total of 13 regions have joined the group, with the region of Flevoland in the Netherlands being the lead partner. Several sub-objectives have been identified to achieve the project. Collect and exchange good practice on regional policy instruments, mechanisms and approaches for improving access to finance and boosting investments in sustainable energy from the project partners, from other EU regions and projects worldwide. Analyze the specific challenges related to the financing of sustainable energy projects in each partner region and develop policy instruments and approaches to boost investments in sustainable energy projects. Prepare concrete and detailed implementation plans for each region so as to ensure the realization of these packages of measures. Transfer the existing good practice, DIO, a sustainable energy development and financing utility, from lead partner Flevoland to other Regions for Green Growth partners through a capacity building program, masterclasses, and the deliverance of 3 regional DIO blueprints. Disseminate the good practice examples and experiences gained during the project activities to other EU regions through dedicated communication and dissemination events and outputs. Project methodology and activities. R4GG applies the peer review methodology, which involves experts from several partner regions, known as the peers, visiting a different partner region to analyze its challenges and problems regarding the project issue and, based on their experience, propose tailor-made packages of policies and instruments to speed up sustainable energy investments. It is a mutual learning process in which the peers build their knowledge and capacities.
As chairman of the monitoring board, what especially has our interest is how to bring together the private and public sector. We are exchanging here good practices, in making progress in making investments.
13 peer reviews took place from June 2012 until November 2013. All of them had study visits and workshops where the local and regional stakeholders explained to a group of international experts all the issues about the region related with the economic, energy and financial areas.
Our aim is to make an assessment for how renewable energy sources are implemented in the region, or what are the plans and the strategies about them, and in order to assist the region to prepare their plans for the next years and boost the investments in this field.
There's one thing that also impressed me a lot, that was the good cooperation between the region, between the authorities, between the SMEs, and also between the research sector.
Being able to experience how open the people are in the region in order to speak about, their ambitions, their high goals for energy, but also the challenges that they may encounter in order to find financing. So through the various discussions during the week, we've been able to really get a good picture of the region.
I found it very interesting to see that small companies here are sharing the same problems as in Sweden. They need financing, and then they need to get their products out in the market.
It's very nice to see how the big companies, the universities, but also the local and regional government is trying to work to each other. I think there's enough opportunities over here, enough chances.
One of the tasks to carry out during the peer reviews is to identify, collect and document the good practices from the partner regions in a catalogue of good practice as a basis for exchange and transfer in the peer reviews. When all reviews are completed, a final workshop wraps up the results of the review process.
So to have people to come in from the outside and take an overview, take a stand back and say, well, actually, what are you doing in here and what are you doing here? Gives you that sense check about whether you're moving in the right direction. I think for me also, this is important because I want to benchmark ourselves against other regions, outstanding regions in the rest of Europe.
The Region for Green Growth Project has allowed to analyze the specific challenges related to the sustainable energy projects in the region. In this way, the project has allowed to the Valencian government to reinforce its energy strategy. It's expected to increase the confidence on investment in energy projects in our region.
The provincial authorities are keen to cooperate with the European colleagues as a very efficient means of generating new knowledge. Together we can solve the social problems we are facing. These European projects also have an economic goal.
The project also develops a specific method to create a public-private cooperation structure for investments in sustainable energy. The DIO model. The DIO model mitigates risk by creating a portfolio of projects and accepting a lower rate of return. The inclusion of public partners also reduces the risk profile for private investors. The model includes the creation of economies of scale and an open environment where new parties can join with their initiatives. This model will be passed on to the partners in a Master Classes series and implemented in 3 partner regions. At the end of the project, partners will develop implementation plans for future action in their regions based on the peer review process and the DIO Master Classes.
It is very important to make people understand that energy efficiency or using renewable energy is important for the next generation and for themselves as well.
Regions for Green Growth was born with the hope and dream of creating the framework for a sustainable Europe, environmentally friendly and committed to its citizens.
The peer review reports are key for providing a consolidated recent snapshot of our region of interests. Through this kind of reports, potential investors have the opportunity to really be informed about financial, legal and political situation about our region.
This is my dream that within a period of 5 years, every region in the Regions for Green Growth Partnership will have this development and investment organization and will have to speed up investments in renewable energy.
A better Europe for a better world.